Okay, good morning to everyone. This is a very simple, a very short homily. It's also, I'm realizing after having preached it twice, a rather challenging homily. But what I want to do, I want to introduce you to a woman whom I very much admire. I think she's going to give us a lens through which we can see and better understand this gospel that we just heard. Jesus shockingly tells his disciples, he tells all of us that yes, there will be division in the family. That's a reality Jesus' disciples faced so many years ago, and it's something we face today. It's because our highest value, fellow Catholics, our way of life, that's not always appreciated by our loved ones. And a big reason is that you and I, we live in this post-Christian culture. And I preach on this all the time, and I apologize for repeating myself. But for so many people in America right now, they have priorities that guide their lives, their decisions, these priorities that really don't have anything to do with faith. So for us, it really shouldn't come as a surprise that when we put our relationship with Christ above all else, that may cause a conflict, especially with those who are closest to us. So as I'm reflecting on this, and I always think of, in this gospel, I always think of this wonderful saint in our tradition, Saint Kateri Tekakwitha. If you don't know Saint Kateri Tekakwitha, I encourage you to study her. She's a fascinating woman, an inspiring woman. She's the first native-born American saint. Okay, she was a Native American, a Mohawk. She was born in 1656. She converted to Christianity at age 19. And obviously Christianity, it was very, very foreign to Mohawk society. When she refused to be married in order to follow Christ more fully, her tribe, they thought she was out of her mind. Saint Kateri, she was ostracized. She suffered a great deal because, again, her faith, her Christianity was incongruous with Mohawk society. But Saint Kateri, she's known as the Lily of the Mohawks because of her humility and her extraordinary service to people in need in her tribe and her heroic love. What I'm trying to say is this: Saint Kateri, when she was baptized, when she became Christian, she embraced the faith in this undeniably attractive way. Okay, so Saint Kateri Tekakwitha lived almost 400 years ago. She exemplifies the gospel. She's giving us a paradigm. She lived in a pre-Christian America. We now live in a post-Christian America. But the calling is the same for all of us, right? It doesn't matter if we have family, friends who have fallen away from the church, or we have loved ones who are opposed to the church's teachings. We have to be living our faith in a beautiful and courageous and heroic way. It should be so obvious to our loved ones that our religion makes a positive impact in our lives and in our world. What I'm trying to say is this: our witness is so critical in this culture in which we live. And others should see us and see something different. We have to be different in the sense that we are more servant-hearted and more forgiving. And we are willing to lay down our lives for Christ because we love him with all that we are. People will notice our actions. They will notice our attitudes even more than they'll listen to our words or our social media posts. But I do want to linger on this point for 1 second before I close. It's so important for us to be ready to speak about our faith if the moment arises. Okay, so in our relationships with our family members, our friends, we may have the opportunity to share with them what's most important to us with so much humility and so much gentleness in the context of a loving dialogue. That's when we articulate our experience of faith, when we explain why we believe in God and why it means so much to us on a very personal level. Let me summarize everything I just said. Let me summarize what I said. In the gospel, Jesus says he desires to set the earth on fire. That fire begins right here in our hearts, but it's meant to be spread like a spark that ignites a wildfire. In other words, we are not called to be lukewarm Christians who blend in with this culture. That means there may be discomfort, disagreement, but we remain bold and humble and compassionate and kind. Like St. Kateri Tekakwitha, God made her to be a witness in her age. And God made us now to be a witness for this age. We're called to be saints and nothing less. That means we have to have the fire of Christ's love on display in our families, in our friendships, in this society in which we live.